some people's mentality is like they're still enslaved to today. That's where they see life. Hello, what's the crack? What's the story? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're checking out why is this history of slavery eaten in schools. To be fair, I grew up in Ireland and I don't remember being taught anything about slavery in schools. Just to be honest with you, I learnt about Irish history, English history, American independence from England. Apart from that, I think we learned a lot of stuff. Let's go.
The idea that discrimination is so deeply embedded in the American experience that it can take place even in the absence of an intention to discriminate. So this argument, which is that there's some basic flaw or sin that's still with us, comes up in the case for reparations. Longish quotation, but it sets something up. But from Ta-Nehisi Coates in an article in The Atlantic entitled "The Case for Reparations." White supremacy is not merely the work of hot-headed demagogues, but a force so fundamental to America that it is difficult to imagine the country without it. And so we must imagine a new country. Reparations is the price we must pay to see.
That's something, reading that, something just comes to my mind. I feel like racism in America is part of the culture. I'm so sorry. I know you don't want to hear that, but I feel like it's part of the culture. It's something that, it's what people see when they think of United States of America. When I think of black people in America, I just think of racism straight away. When I think of black people in the UK, I don't think of her, which is mad. Even though the UK, the British had loads of black slaves, but I don't think of that kind of stuff. But when it comes to America, I feel like America is so institutionalized that that's the way things are. It's so sad. It's very, very sad. But I feel like sometimes we ourselves, as black people, I'm probably the least person because I don't live in the United States, so what do I know? But I believe that sometimes we promote it because there's some things that we do ourselves. It's like crime. Do you know how many times that we kill each other? Black people killing each other. Like, how is that helping anything? We shoot each other, kill each other over silly stuff. How is that helping? You literally, people are saying, you're doing this, people are labeling you for doing something. Then try not to do it. This might sound crazy, what is this guy talking about? But we literally making ourselves look bad every single time. It's not helping. We're not helping each other. It's sad, but it's the truth. I'm so sorry. It's the sad truth right there. We are not helping each other. We keep promoting this violence, this way of thinking that, I'm this bad, I'm not saying it's the majority of people, but a lot of us, a lot of black people in America, that's the way we carry on. And that's the way people are going to see us, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying it's the reason, to be racist, That doesn't mean everyone should be racist because of that. It's so crazy and I'm so sorry to say, but that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think down below. Let's continue.
Ourselves squarely. The wealth gap merely puts a number on something we feel but cannot say, that American prosperity was ill-gotten and selective in its distribution. What I'm talking about is more than recompense for past injustices. What I'm talking about is a national reckoning that would lead to spiritual renewal. Close quote. And Tom Sowell makes what of that?
Well, it tells me that I've made the right decision not to read the Atlantic for decades. Slavery is a very big subject. I have in my home an entire bookcase of books about slavery in various parts of the world and various times of history. And the sad fact is that slavery has been a universal institution for thousands of years, as far back as you can trace human history. And what we're looking at is if slavery is something that happened to one race of people in one country, when in fact the spread of it was around.
Okay, so I'm so sorry to say this again. Like what you just said over there, slavery happened to a lot of people. Why is it that we, as a collective, black people, why are we the only ones that kind of still label ourselves to that? I'm not sure if you get what I'm saying. Like a lot of people try. I'm not saying move on. I'm not obviously educate yourself. Try to make sure it doesn't happen again, but don't let that define you. Like when I'm going out walking on the street, I don't think of myself as yeah, my great grandparents used to be slaves. I don't look at life like that. I look at life as this this beautiful world that I'm living in, that I'm so privileged to be, you know, among the most beautiful people in life, my family, my friends. That's the way I see life. I'm not, because just because obviously I didn't go through slavery, so obviously I would never fully understand what happened. What happened is messed up. Some people's mentality is like they're still enslaved to today. That's where they see life. When they see some certain people, like it could be the police, wherever, they have that kind of mentality, that yeah, I'm in captivity, even though you're not, you're a free person. I'm not sure if you get what I'm saying, but that's the way I see stuff. Let's continue. Sorry about that rambling.
Around the world. In 1776, which is when Adam Smith published The Wealth of Nations, as well as when the United States got started, he said that Western Europe is the only place in the world where there is no slavery. And even the Western Europeans had vast numbers of slaves in the Western Hemisphere,
yes,
but not in Western Europe itself. And so if you're going to have reparations for slavery, it's going to be the greatest transfer of wealth back and forth, and between and cross hauling, as they say in the railroads, because the number of whites, for example, who were enslaved in North Africa by the Barbary pirates exceeded the number of Africans enslaved in the United States and in the American colonies before that, put together. I know, but nobody is going to North Africa to ask for reparations because nobody is going to be fool enough to give it to them. Here we have intellectuals who can imagine a different history from the rest of the world, even though it's so similar to the rest of the world.
Wow.
Tom, reparations.
That was so beautiful. I feel like people need to stop feeling victimized. Learn to be a better role model to your kids, to your grandkids, because you don't want to preach hate to your kids, to your grandkids. Don't let them see, white people and so on as this kind of enemy. Because I see that happening every single time. Every single time. I might be on Instagram, there's some pages on Instagram that just the comment section alone. I'm like, if it was the other way around, if someone white said this, it'd be it'd be opera. But yeah, we need to just, start seeing each other as, one human race. I'm not saying everyone is perfect. We're far from perfect. I'm far from perfect. But what I tend to do is that I see everyone as one. I don't see someone as, being that, their great grandparents enslaved my great grandparents. I don't see things like that. I just see things as they are today. Because that's the way we can move on and, try to be the best version of ourselves. Again, I'm probably chatting rubbish, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you like, comment, share it. Let me know what story you want to talk about or react to, and I'll definitely react to it. Thank you. Bye-bye.